So as I mentioned briefly, I'll be covering some of the major trends that has happened in 2020 and also cover some of the changes to consumer behaviors and preferences, as well as changes in approaches to marketing. And I hope that you can keep in mind some of these changes will have long-term implications and some shifts are permanent. Despite of the global pandemic, markets in China are continuously growing year by year. So according to National Bureau Statistics of China, cosmetic market in China accounts for 52.4 billion US dollars, which is the second largest market, followed by the United States. And some researchers have claimed that e-commerce accounts for 75% of the total sales in China's beauty market. So in prior, I would like to share some of the few words about where the data is coming from, where the analysis is coming from. So we have to look at the most important online channels as well as the social channels. So for you can understand where your main demographics are, right? So for e-commerce, we analyze Alibaba's data, which is mainly Tmall and Taobao, to figure out what consumers are purchasing online by analyzing the sales data, product descriptions, and also keywords that are listed in Tmall and Taobao pages. And also, for social media data, we are analyzing Weibo and Xiaohongshu to understand why they are making those purchases. So we can see the correlation among voice of consumers and brand activities and actual sales. So if you're curious about where the data are from, so we have listed on the right down side of the corner as much as possible, so you can refer back to that. So let's begin. In a growing market like China, what do you need to understand? So let's start by setting up the goal for today's session so everybody is on the same page and clear idea of what you can expect. So the primary goal is to help brands to track on the trends that has emerged in 2020 and what you need to be expecting in 2021. And also finding out the rising beauty categories and trends that's emerging in the markets. Lastly, capturing one of the most important events in China, which is Double 11. So hoping that by looking at the history of Double 11 in 2020, maybe you can make a better strategy planning for your next Double 11 for this year. So firstly, let's start on discussing overall the China market trends. It is important to understand that market in China, the cosmetic market in China is continuously growing amid the pandemic. So for the total sales revenue is up by 26% in 2020 compared to 2019. And this is really significant and it's very important thing to understand. First, considering how big the market is, despite of that, market is growing. And second, China's online market is still growing amid the pandemic, right? I mean, people cannot go outside and they don't really need to put makeup on. So many of consumers stay at home, but still the market grows. So many of the consumers are purchasing online rather than offline. Then you might be wondering, who are purchasing online? So China's population accounts for 1.3 billion. And interestingly, in 2020, among those 1.3 billion of population, over 50% of consumers are purchasing online, so which accounts for 700 million people. And from teenagers to elderly, many consumers do purchase online. And now then, who will be our main customers? We found out that almost 60% of the consumers are 80后 and 90后, which is people who are born in 1980s and 1990s. So since 80后and 90后are the largest consumer pool in online, I would like to share a few words about their characteristics and their purchasing behaviors. So for 80后, who are born in 1980s, their main characteristics are both valuing the quality and the price itself. While 90后, people who are born in 1990s, their goal is like enjoying your life, fulfill individual values, and appreciating qualities and products. So their main driver isn't just about the price itself, but it's the value behind the brand or the product. Since many young generations are purchasing online, and there's a new viral keyword that's emerging in social media, which is 炖直播, consumers who are waiting for live streaming. So China's e-commerce market is quite unique with its own ecosystem, and due to the COVID-19, this e-commerce and live commerce market has been accelerated, and so many variety of live streamings are coming up. Even very luxurious fashion brands like Louis Vuitton, they are holding live streaming in Xiaohongshu to connect with their consumers. And also Cartier, Gucci, and Hermes perfumes, they're also opening their Tmall flagships in China, which is quite unique for high-end brands to do that. So you can get an idea of how important it is to attract consumers through e-commerce and live commerce. Then where do brands live streaming the most? According to China's Consumer Association's data, consumers have answered it's from Alibaba, who owns Tmall and Taobao. So 70% of shoppers are watching live streaming through Tmall, and then followed by TikTok and Kuaishou. However, live streaming can be a double-edged sword. A positive thing is that everyone can be Wanghong, everyone can be a brand ambassador. So from offline beauty advisor to a brand CEOs, everybody can be that. But on the other hand, you need to be careful with newly launched law that has been introduced in December 2020. So no more exaggerating benefits of the product. This new law has been introduced and forbid Wanghongs to mislead consumers when they do a live streaming and trying to make consumers to purchase your products. For an example, when Li Jiaqi ran a live streaming about Chanel's cream, he mentioned brightening effects. But you cannot really use brightening keyword in a live stream unless your products are listed for a special purpose. So you need to register for a permit for that. So in cosmetics, there are certain keywords that you really cannot use, such as I mentioned, brightening, whitening, reducing freckles, and those kind of keywords, As a result, both Chanel and Li Jiaqi got a huge fine. So be careful to choose right keywords on your live stream. Also, during Kuaishou's live streaming, some Wanghong, they sold fake products during the live stream. So as a consequences, he had ended up with the 1 million RMB fine, which is 154,000 USD. So I want to conclude 2 points for the first part. In a continuously growing market like China, you really have to know where your consumer groups are. So 60% of people are buying online are Gen Z and millennials, so who are born in 1980s and 1990s. So follow the track for that, and also use live streaming wisely and smartly. Then now let's shift our focus to rising beauty trends and categories. So in this part, I would like to mention 3 key trends. One is anti-aging, and another one is professional skincare, and lastly, it's cleanliness and hygiene. So let's look at one by one. First beauty trends in China I want to mention is anti-aging. So anti-aging has been growing vigorously in the market. So over the past 2 years, this category has been growing on average 108% per year, reaching close to 5 billion RMB market. From teenagers to elderlies, Chinese consumers are really obsessed with anti-aging functions. They want to look young and look pretty. So from Baidu search index, we could find out that consumers in their 20s, they search about anti-aging, in Chinese called 抗衰老. So then followed by consumers who are in their 30s. And another interesting thing I want to share with you is that a survey that L'Oreal has been done in 2019, they asked their consumers, and they just run a survey over 1.5K people about when do you think it's the best time for you to do early anti-aging. And interestingly, there were some answers for teenage. You need to start your anti-aging in your teenage life. But most of consumers have answered that you need to start doing early anti-aging in your early 20s, so age from 22 to 25. So it's never really too early to start doing your anti-aging. Not only from the consumers' voices, we can see the similar trend that's trending in the market from the brand side. Since consumers are really interested in doing the anti-aging and early anti-aging, I want to share a case of Shiseido's. For instance, here is the change of the marketing keywords of Shiseido's Vital Perfection line. From 2018 to 2019, their marketing keyword was tightening and brightening. And last year, main keyword was improving saggy skins and darknesses. And in 2021, they focused on early anti-aging keyword. So it's a new way of them to connecting with consumers using the right keyword that consumers are really interested in. Now then, you might be wondering which category shows the most growth in anti-aging markets. There are two. One is facial mask, and another one is scalp care. Each of these categories have been increased over 100% as in YOY base. So let's dive in one by one. Among the skincare, facial mask is a category that shows the most growth. So there's a related with staying home effect, since that consumers aren't able to go outside and enjoying their life. So most of them are staying home and trying to do the skincare routine, right? If you see on the left side, the bar chart, it shows the growth rate of skincare category as in quarterly basis. And in particular, the gray bar represents the facial mask. During the first quarter, during the lockdown, it grew over 450%. Likewise, we could see the similar trend that's trending in social media as well. So consumers are actively sharing about home care products and how to do anti-aging, and especially in facial mask. There are so many benefits related with anti-aging, so we listed 5 benefits which had highest growth in sales revenue. From anti-wrinkle to antioxidant, anti-aging related benefits have grown from 70% to over 150%. And again, these are based on real sales data from Tmall and Taobao. So from catching really the detailed benefit is very important when developing your marketing strategy in China. Because consumers, they don't just look for your brand or products. They don't just go on and search for your brands. They search for benefits or ingredients before making the purchase. So please utilize the keywords. So let's see which products are being newly launched and how those products are leading the market in facial mask category. The line graph is sales trend of anti-aging facial mask trends in the past 2 years. And I've also listed some of the newly launched items from August 2019, showing that we have Chando, Kans, One Leaf, and MG, and others. And an interesting point that I want to point out here is that every single local brands, they're emphasizing on anti-aging, especially antioxidant benefit, and also anti-glycation benefits. I mean, anti-glycation benefit was really new to me, so I did more research on social medias. And right now, Chinese consumer thinking that if you control your sugar level, then it will lead to you to do anti-aging. So I think that was something very interesting for me to actually share it to you. Now then, let's move to the second category that's related with anti-aging, which is scalp care. From facial products to scalp care, Chinese women are obsessed with anti-aging. So the main purpose of scalp care in a previous in the history, I mean, it was for preventing the hair loss. As you can see on the left side of the image, like you can see how they show before and after of how their hair is more and less. But then on the right side, I also did a capture from the social media, mainly from Xiaohongshu. And then you can see that the purpose of scalp care right now is not only because you want to control your hair loss, but you want to do anti-aging. Consumers think that if your scalp gets saggy, then your skin will also get saggy. And there's a Chinese saying that scalp skin and face skin is one skin. So you can figure out how important controlling your scalp as an anti-aging, right? So many consumers are sharing postings related to process of scalp care. If you see the graph on the right side, you can find out the rising trend in social media engagement related to scalp care. Not only people start to post online regards to scalp care, but also they react upon it. And most of the contents were about teaching one another the process of doing the scalp care. So firstly, comb your hair with a big massageable comb, and then cleanse by expanding your hair follicle to give an expansion of your scalp, and which gives you a deep cleansing effect. And then use anti-aging essence to massage your scalp to prevent your scalp get saggy. And from Me저커머스 data, we can see as a result, scalp care products have grown by 71% as in year by year. And I personally believe that this trend will actually go for a while. In this category, I would like to share one brand cases. It's the Head & Shoulder. So antioxidation, we just mentioned in facial mask, it's not always about the beauty trends anymore. It's not about the facial trend that's using antioxidant. It's right now emerging in scalp care as well. So many brands are communicating their products with scalp antioxidation. And even though the brand is communicating with its consumer that it is good for preventing the hair loss, however, on the other side, the consumer think that Head & Shoulders product is good for anti-aging, the scalp anti-aging, because antioxidation benefit is in the product. So it is quite interesting to understand that even though how brand communicates, consumer will take it the other way. In return, Head & Shoulders scalp care line will have contributed 10% of its brand sales. And looking back into their market growth from fourth quarter of 2020 compared to fourth quarter of 2019, this product have grown by 1,440%, which is quite large. And the second trend I would like to share is professional skincare, especially sensitive skin. Before we jump into professional skincare, I would like to start by explaining how Chinese consumers shop for cosmetic products. So mentioned briefly earlier in the slides that Chinese consumers, they don't just go and search, they don't just go and buy the products. They search for the benefits and ingredients, and they figure out what's best for their skin. So it has to fit their skin type in order for them to actually make the purchase. So there are over 1.5 million postings exist in Xiaohongshu if you search for 敏感肌 sensitive skin, and among them, 30%, 490K postings that are related with 敏感肌成分, sensitive skincare ingredients. So consumers really care a lot about the ingredients or whether the product is mild or not. So to give you a broader view, I used the me저커머스 social dashboard tool to understand more about what consumers actually look for in a skincare. So the left side is related keywords with skincare. We have skincare, moisturizing, essence. We also see 敏感肌, just I mentioned, the sensitive skincare ranked on number 5. And in number 12, we have 成分, ingredients. And here, now you might be thinking, okay, consumers do really care a lot for sensitive skin. Then what about the cosmeceutical or pharmaceutical related keywords? This is because the Chinese government have forbid cosmetic brands to separate use of the cosmetic keyword use and then medical use. So that's why many of the derma-focused local and global brands are utilizing sensitive or ingredients or acne kind of keywords to emphasize their derma brand identity. And let's look at the bar chart on the right. Sensitive skincare market have grown over 100% in YOY. So by tracking the keywords from Xiaohongshu and increased sales in Tmall and Taobao, we can really correlate that sensitive skincare is rising the trend. So by tracking related keywords in Xiaohongshu and an increasing sales trend from Tmall and Taobao, we can get a hint that consumers are really concerned about the sensitive skin, so wanting to pay more attention and for the right ingredients. And I think this also portrays the similar trend that's happening globally, the masque-nez. So since we have to wear masks all the time, as in daily basis, skin gets irritated, gets more sensitive, and develops breakouts. So I think this is definitely one of the global trends that we can see in the market, and it will last as long as it can. So then, which brands are leading the sensitive market in China? In a sensitive skincare category, here are the main brands who have recorded the highest sales growth over the year. So Winona, the most biggest local brands in China, which is focused on sensitive skincare products. And now Winona is growing by 160%. And I will invite our Me저커머스 beauty analyst in China to discuss more about this brand later on. And followed by La Roche-Posay over 100% and Avene over 60%. So they are both ranked in number 3 and 4 in the market. And one point that you have to keep in mind is that they have the key ingredients that represent each brand. It is very important to understand that you need to make your consumers to relate your brand with certain keywords, either benefits, ingredients, or nicknames, or anything. And Winona and La Roche-Posay did really well on this. So again, from Me저커머스 social dashboard tool, we draw a word cloud on the related keywords for both brands, Winona and Avene. So Winona, we do see that sensitive skin, moisturization, and other keywords, but we also see that each brand have key ingredients that are related with their own brands. For Winona, it is related with Principia utilis seeds, and for Avene, it is connected with perserine ingredients. Not only dominating the keywords as their main core ingredients, but there are also differences in their marketing campaigns. It is very common that brands are running live streams, but these brands are running live streams with dermatologists. I mean, before the COVID, sensitive skincare brands, they were focusing and emphasizing their brands or products are mild or hypoallergic. But now, sensitive brands are introducing themselves as professional brands for sensitive skincare by collaborating with dermatologists through live streams. I've mentioned roughly before that cosmetics and cosmeceuticals cannot be really combined together, but they're still holding live streams. It is able to hold live streams with the dermatologist, show how much professional they are in the skincare category. And actually also showing that consumers can actually trust its brands and products. Before we move to the next trend, I would like to invite our analyst in China, Kathy Tian, and share more about her insights in professional skincare, as well as the analyzing key success story of Winona. Hello, Kathy. Thank you for your time and joining me for the interview today. So please share your thoughts on professional skincare, especially how sensitive skincare gone viral in the market.
Hello, Holly. Thanks for having me here. Overall speaking, the most important thing is that Chinese consumers are becoming more knowledgeable of the cosmetics industry and beauty products, and they're paying more attention to which product is safer and which is right to them, especially if they have sensitive skin. As we can see from our database Major Influence, the number of posts about sensitive skin on Xiaohongshu has been growing quickly right after the COVID-19 outbreak, January last year. And among those postings, I figured that consumers differentiate skin sensitivity is caused by multiple reasons, such as sensitivity due to dryness, 干敏肌, or oiliness, 油敏肌, sensitivity due to thin cuticle, and sensitivity due to season change, and etc. Most of them are expecting beauty products not only just have moisturizing and soothing function without any irritation, but also repair and improve their skin type from sensitive to normal by strengthening skin barrier in the long term.
All right. As a local Chinese brand, Winona grew really fast in the market thanks to its expertise. So, would you like to share with us more about the brand?
Sure. Winona is the first generation local brand specializing in sensitive skincare and now focuses on building its expert image through its pharmaceutical backgrounds and collaboration with hospitals. In particular, when offline distribution was not working efficiently due to COVID-19, Winona put more efforts in consumer engagement through live streaming on social media, featuring dermatologists and experts from relevant associations.
Yeah, I noticed that recently Chinese consumers, they tend to receive beauty products related with information and recommendation from social media, such as Xiaohongshu and TikTok, as you just mentioned. So please share more about how they get to know Winona in social media.
Yeah, sure. Xiaohongshu could be considered as an education platform. Influencers there are teachers to Chinese consumers. Also, as to skin products, consumers use keywords such as sensitive skincare to check what influencers are recommending and what other consumers are saying for reference. And I've also spoken to some local users of Winona products. I found some of their experiences of how they get to know this brand are quite interesting. Some people told me that they got to know this brand from friends or Li Jiaqi, a famous Chinese influencer, but I also found that some of them got to know Winona when they went to dermatological department at hospitals.
I mean, that's quite interesting because, as I mentioned just right before, Chinese government have forbid cosmetic brands to separate the use of the keywords cosmeceutical and cosmetics. And I'm wondering how Winona, a beauty brand, end up in a hospital.
That's true. This is because Chinese government sets different definition for cosmetics products and pharmaceutical products, and also releases different license too. So that's why cosmetics brands have been banned from using keywords such as cosmeceutical, 药妆, pharmaceutical skincare, 医学护肤品 when they introduce or promote their products since 2019. But it doesn't matter for dermatological doctors to suggest beauty products to their patients, right? That's how some people who have skin issues started to know this brand. One of the Winona users said that She had allergy issue last year and went to the most famous hospital in dermatology at Shanghai, Huashan Hospital. Doctors said she had skin barrier issue and took a list of beauty products right after the consultation. Some brands such as Winona, Dr. Yu were on the list. But still, doctors suggested her to the Winona's anti-sensitive series, tolerance extreme cream for her skin barrier issue, and she bought one in a pharmacy near the hospital.
So it sounds quite interesting when brands can not use the cosmeceutical keywords, but they can go to the doctor and get the prescribed cosmetic products. So I wonder whether hospital they do sell products just like we know now.
I'm quite sure that some of them do. And I also want to show you a picture here. One of my friends took this at a dermatology department at Changsha City. It's a tier 2 city in central part of China. Winona cooperates with some hospitals to suggest, to sell, and even to exhibit their products just like this.
Okay, so generally speaking, compared with other brands, we know now also have hospital distribution channels besides on online and offline, right?
Yes. That's true. Cooperating with hospitals and dermatologists is the best way to show brand professionalism these days. As you've mentioned before, lots of sensitive brands are featuring dermatologists from prestigious local hospitals in their live streaming shows.
Okay, then have you, as a consumer, been watching those kind of live streaming shows held by the those kind of derma theme identifying brands?
Yes, I did. And I want to share some live streaming captures with you here. And those captures are from Winona's Tmall flagship store. The first picture on the left is a notice about an upcoming live streaming. The contents are saying that Winona invites Dr. Yu from Shanghai Xinhua Hospital to share her professional knowledge on acne skincare. Another picture on the right shows some topics Winona had discussed before with experts. I think just like the seminar that we are doing right now, consumers gather at this live streaming for suggestions and write actions about sensitive skincare on specific topics. What we can see here are some topics such as season change problem, 换季敏感, skincare during autumn and winter season, 秋冬护肤, emergent skincare, 皮肤急救, not to do list, 护肤雷区. And I also found that those specific topics are more attracting to consumers to join this live streaming shows.
Oh, that's quite interesting. Besides comparing with other brands, in your mind, what's so special about Winona?
So I want to mention 2 points here. The first one is from the perspective of brand positioning. Winona is very smart at product differentiation by using its own keywords. All of Winona's products are pointing out 2 functions. One is soothing, 舒缓, and the other one is repair skin barrier, 修护肌肤屏障. The ingredient that you've mentioned before, Principia utilis, is the same. When it comes to these functions and keywords, Winona just pops up into consumers' heads. The second one is from the perspective of marketing. The frequency of using dermatologist live streaming is the main difference that I want to point out here. Some brands, they only feature those experts in big promotions, such as Double 11, but Winona is doing it almost 3 to 4 times a month, even more during promotion. which means Winona is engaging more with consumers and make its expert brand image more popular than any others.
Okay, so this will be the last question for you today. As a consumer, have you been using Winona products before?
Yes, I did. When they started being so popular, I'm curious about why consumers are saying so much positive things about this brand. So I bought its signature product, Tolerance Extreme Cream, Cleansing Form, and Essence. Although I don't have a sensitive skin type, when I first opened it, I didn't smell any alcohol or artificial aroma. It gave me a sense of feeling that this product won't have any bad ingredients that will irritate my skin. And the essence is very well absorbed by my skin compared to what I am using right now. And I also have talked to a Winona user before. She said her skin condition actually got improved after 2 to 3 months usage.
Oh, all right then. Thank you for your time today, Kathy, and sharing your experiences, your insights on the overall market and Winona as a brand.
Okay, thanks again for having me today. And I hope you could understand more about Winona's brand story and its strategies in China. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy, again for sharing your thoughts and insights on the professional skincare market as well as the successful story of Winona. Then, it's the last category trend that I want to mention, which is cleanliness and hygiene. I mean, with the COVID effect, hygiene category is really trending in the market, in China also. In social media, mainly Xiaohongshu, if you look at it, as you can see that consumers are posting more and more contents related with cleanliness and hygiene. In 2019 of November, before the COVID, we only had about 5,000 postings related with this contents. But after the outbreak of COVID, more and more postings are consumed in social media. Not only we see the rising trend in social media, so many categories are rising in e-commerce market as in sales revenue. Hand and body cleansing market is growing over 200% and 80% each. But here, I really want to mention the feminine cleansing market, which is growing at over 200% as well. So I would like to share more details on this category and let's dive in. I mean, this is all because the Chinese consumers start to open up the discussion in social media. Especially feminine care products was kind of like something very private and inappropriate thing to discuss in public. But because of Chinese consumers are more open up for the discussion on the importance of the feminine hygiene. So let's see then who are leading the market. Here is the top 10 brands in feminine cleansing markets in 2020. And I've highlighted in yellow the global brands, and then rest of them are Chinese local brands. 6 out of 10 brands are global brands in the market. This is quite unique because there are so many categories that local brands are also leading the top markets. So let's deep dive in which are the key buying factors for global brands versus the local brands. One interesting point for me was that local brand, they have so much intimate care products for men, and if not, they emphasize the brightening effect for women's use. Whereas for global brands, many are emphasizing the hygiene benefit itself and also achieving bacterial balance, just like how microbiome effect is in is in skincare category. So I thought this was one interesting point that I really wanted to share with you, and maybe it's a good category to keep an eye on. In this part, I've discussed rising beauty trends and categories. So let's move to the last part of this session. I'm sure many of you are very curious about the winning strategies for Double 11. So here, I will covering different strategies that has been happened in 2020, Double 11, and hope that I could provide a little bit hint for you to prepare your strategies in this year's Double 11. So let's understand the details from the sales strategies to marketing tactics. Double 11 gets bigger and bigger in each year. Based on me저커머스 data, Lancome's Double 11 sales was up by 103% compared to 2019. The history of Who saw a 151 rise, Shiseido a 163% rise, and the biggest of all was La Mer, was up by over 220% over 2019. In 2020's Double 11 was really special compared to any other Double 11s has happened in the past. Usually, Alibaba only hold one pre-sales period, but this year they hold twice, so there were 2 times of pre-sales period. So let's look at the calendar. So for the first 2 weeks, we have the first pre-sales period, and then they paid a balance between the November 1st to November 8th. And then the second pre-sale started on November 4th till 10th. Then we have the Double 11 day. Here, one thing you really need to keep in mind is that the importance of the pre-sales period. Because from me저커머스 data, we figured out that despite of 2 times of pre-sales period, all the sales happen during the first 2 weeks of the event. For global brands, over 70% of sales happening during the first 2 weeks of pre-sales period rather than on the Double 11 day. To succeed, you really have to do whatever it takes to generate your sales and attract your consumers to make a purchase ahead of its sales day. Alibaba will announce Double 11 timeline like 2 months in prior, so that's the time when you really have to teaser your promotions to attract consumers. So please leverage this pre-sales period to boost your sales in China. Then you must be wondering, what's the promotion result like? Let's look at me저커머스 sales data of 2020. We can see that brands typically generate 2.5 times higher sales during Double 11 promotions rather than the average sales month. So during 2020's Double 11, the revenue was around 36 billion RMB. And our data last year shows that global brands saw big sales increase rather than the local brands. So this generally came at an expense at Chinese brands, which were down by 17%. Brands from Japan, Korea, and US tend to do the best. So Double 11 period is really biggest opportunities for global brands to boost their sales and business growth in China's e-commerce channels. Then, who are the biggest winner of all during the promotional period? We can see that Estée Lauder placed number 1, followed by Lancôme and L'Oreal. And interestingly, during 2020's Double 11 promotion, there are so many premium skincare brands that they did really well during this time. Okay, so let's move on to the marketing activities that many brands have done successfully. There are many events that brands do. I mean, most of you are familiar from live streaming with Wanghong or top influencers or celebrities to limited editions, opening the pop-up stores, or engaging consumers through having the lucky draw events. And on this marketing part, I would like to share a case of La Mer, which I have mentioned previously. Their sales have been increased over 200% compared to 2019. So, live streaming isn't just a platform where brands sell products and consumers purchase them. Live streaming became one of the channels where you can actually interact with your consumers online and give them full experiences of your own brand. So, I've mentioned the importance of the pre-sales period and then you have to leverage that. And La Mer played really well on this matter. They hold like 3 days of live streaming series in prior to the pre-sales period, and they hold these live streaming series in their Tmall flagship store. So, which was holding a online live streaming concert, calling Renewing Possibility on their Tmall flagship channel, inviting top musicians such as global pianist Lang Lang and also singer Aya. So this brought all the traffic to Lamer's Tmall flagship. And then after the show, Lamer have reposted those contents back in their Weibo account, and then they also changed their product thumbnails in Tmall flagship channels so that it matches the concepts with Renewing Possibility concert theme. And then during the actual sales period started, they also engaged with consumers in social media by doing the lucky draw events, and which is giving away the free samples. And then what's the impact of this event to La Mer? In return, La Mer's Double 11 sales have boosted over 4 times higher than its average monthly sales, recording 62.6 million RMB in 1 month. I mean, I've shared roughly on the marketing cases, and let's shift our focus to sales promotion strategy. There are 3 types of sales promotion strategy. Many of you are familiar of. One is giving away free samples. This is not just something that local brands are playing. It's also that global brands are also giving away so many free samples to consumers. Sometimes brands are giving away free samples of the same volume as what they can actually purchase. Second, buy one, get one off. This was something that many local or facial mask brands are doing typically did, but now in 2020's Double 11, Seolhwasu, a Korean premium brand, actually tried this sales promotion strategy for the very first time. And their sales rise by over 150% as in YOY. Lastly, brands are offering deeper discounts for a limited time to encourage consumers to buy earlier. And I want to conclude Double 11 strategy with sharing some of the videos from Xiaohongshu. And since there are so many different sales promotions activities going on during Double 11, many consumers post on what to buy and where to buy certain products. Not only consumers capture and share brands' promotional thumbnails, but also they compare between which Wanhong, like Weiya or Li Jiaqi, to buy. So among 2 of them, who will give more discounts and offer more free samples. So remember that consumer will compare what and where to purchase your products in social media. They will screenshot your thumbnail and then repost that and then make a contents out of it. So making sure that your thumbnail stands out, stating from discounted rates and giving away free samples. In this Double 11 strategy part, I want to emphasize 3 points. 1, leverage pre-sales period, because that's the time when your consumer decide to go with your products or not. Second, there are so many marketing activities going on during the Double 11 promotions, so make sure something unique to your brand and bring the traffic to your own channels. Lastly, utilize your promotion thumbnails wisely since consumers will repost them through their social media. And okay, that was all for me, and I know it's a huge amount to cover, so let me try to summarize as much as I can. These ideas hold up for both skincare and makeup brands. Listen to consumers and engage with them using the right keywords and channels that they prefer. Marketing keywords are constantly changing, so adapt to it, and right now, live streaming is the most fastest rising channels. And also, it is very important to catching the rising trends and categories in the market. And with the data, you can easily quantify those trends and leverage them into your next business opportunities. And last, during the promotional period, do something and offer something really special that makes for your brand unique. And also utilize pre-sales period wisely. Thank you, everyone. That's all for me for sharing 2020's beauty trends in China. And I hope you can leverage that into your strategy planning for 2021. And I know that you might be having a lot of questions or feedbacks. And here's my email. And please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.